If you're a man who's looked online for dating advice, then you've probably come across these so-called coaches and experts who preach the red pill. And their advice might sound good to you at first, especially when you've had bad experiences with women in the past, or you feel disillusioned with modern dating. Because these guys come along and make it sound like they've mastered attraction and the art of female nature, when in reality, most of them give garbage advice. Not because they can't attract certain types of women, and not because they don't promote that you build yourself up, but when it comes to long-term relationships with good women, they don't know what they're talking about. Yes, you might feel good when their tactics work, staying mysterious, keeping her guessing and spiking her emotions, and this may get you more women than you've ever had before. But try playing these games in a serious relationship with a woman of good values, and I promise that it will end very badly for you. You may have more women who are obsessed with you, but you'll also be more miserable and lonely than ever before when you realize that your relationships have become toxic and unfulfilling. So in this video, I'm going to cut through a lot of the garbage advice you hear online and give you a better approach instead. Modern dating advice for men typically sounds like this. Never tell her how you really feel. Act uninterested. Pretend to be a high-value man who has one foot out of the door and show her that you can replace her at any time. As much as these online coaches will tell you that this works with all women, in reality, it only attracts women who are not relationship material. At least not for most of us. These women enjoy these games, thrive off manipulation and lack strong values. Seriously, just think about it for a second. Imagine if you're looking for a serious girlfriend or a wife, and she behaves with you the same way that these coaches online are telling you to behave with her. She entertains other men. She gives you just enough attention to keep you hooked but never fully commits to you. She plays hard to get. Would you feel confident and secure with her? Would you commit to her? Of course not. You'd run away if you had any self-respect. So why would a woman who has strong values and knows what she's looking for commit to you if you take this garbage advice? Now fair enough if your only goal is to hook up with multiple damaged women, and they want the same thing. It's a self-destructive path, but it is your choice. But for the men who want a serious relationship or even marriage, it's obviously a stupid idea to behave the exact same way that these red pill guys do, but they will never tell you that or admit it. Instead, they sell this lie that all women behave the same way, even in long-term relationships. So let me set this straight for you. Toxic men attract toxic women, and vice versa. Yes, it isn't always this black and white, but in general, relationships mirror the values that each of you bring to the table. It's just not possible for a woman with strong values to be attracted to a toxic man who plays games with her. And likewise, as a man, if you find that you're drawn to these types of women who play games with you, who go hot and cold, who guilt trip you, etc., then it's because you lack strong values too. Maybe you're chasing her approval because you need it. Maybe you're scared of being alone, or maybe the chaos just feels familiar to you. Something else you'll hear online is that the dating space is what it is, so you have to adapt. And that actually sounds like good advice on the surface, except what these guys really mean is that you have to be even more toxic than the woman who you are trying to sleep with. They push this idea that modern dating is a cesspool of hypergamy, selfishness and manipulation, and so their version of adapting to this is to become even more emotionally detached, calculating and selfish. This is why a lot of these men have absolutely no problem sleeping with women who are already in relationships, or breaking hearts just for moments of pleasure to boost their ego. So what these guys are really telling you to do is to contribute to the same problem that they hate. Complain about modern women and a lack of values, but then go and sleep with as many of them as you can and damage both sides in the process. And so modern dating is garbage, not because it won't help you get laid, but because it destroys your chances of being in a real, healthy relationship. It teaches you to manipulate her and put on a performance, so she becomes attracted to that performance and that fake version of you. which means that there was never a genuine connection to begin with. I'm well aware that many men have given up with modern dating because there's no doubt that it has become a mess. We often end up putting in so much effort for very little return. Not only is it a lot harder for us to get dates now, but we also get played and hurt by immoral women. The resulting frustration, loneliness, or even anger can push you to these red pill guys online who play off of your emotions. They can still give you actionable advice on working on yourself, which is a good thing. But as I've already explained, when it comes to dating, following their advice to a T will only make you more miserable in the long run. So here's some more realistic advice. First of all, you need to actually be ready for dating. In other words, if you are a man who isn't at least somewhat confident in yourself, you don't know what you want, or you lack self-control, then dating isn't for you right now. Because the men who do date out of desperation or insecurity are the ones who end up in these dysfunctional situationships or toxic relationships where cheating, dishonesty and emotional abuse is common. Be honest and ask yourself how you view and treat women right now. For example, if you can't even control your lust, then that isn't going to magically disappear just because you decide to settle down with one woman. Likewise, any problems you have are typically magnified in a relationship, so don't be delusional and think that you will magically fix yourself by getting with the right woman. Being ready means that you have the conviction to know what you want and the confidence to communicate it from the start, which not only simplifies things, but make sure you're dating people who are on the same page as you. Next, get out of this red pill mindset that all women are the same, because they're not. And generalizing like this will not only make you bitter, and people will be able to see that you're bitter, but it also stops you from recognizing a woman who is relationship material. For example, women who do not constantly entertain multiple guys, and women who do not thrive off constant validation and attention do exist. But if you are someone who's still got this red pill mindset, and you find a woman with strong values, then she will only be pushed away when she sees your lack of trust and honesty. I'd also say to embody yourself what you want in a partner. As I've said before, relationships are mirrors, and what you bring to the table is often what you attract. So if you want a woman who's emotionally mature, stable, and loyal, then you need to have those qualities yourself. I know you've heard that advice online many times before that says work on yourself, but this is exactly why it's important. After all, the woman you want is going to have standards too, so it's important to give yourself the best chance of being compatible with her. In terms of actually going on dates, just be natural and have fun. You shouldn't feel pressured into winning her over because she is not the prize and neither are you. You're just two humans who are seeing if you are compatible and if there's attraction there. So instead of only thinking and obsessing over what you need to say or do to get in her pants or impress her, and by the way, if that's your mindset, then you're probably not ready for a long-term relationship. Because what you should be thinking about is being open and honest from the start and asking her what she wants too. Obviously, don't be super serious and make the date an interview, but this level of honesty is also how you avoid wasting your time on energy on girls who could potentially break your heart down the line too. Now, you could argue that some girls will just lie to you about their intentions so that they can use you for their own needs, and that's true, and it does happen. But ultimately, all you can do is put your best foot forward and be honest. When you just start off, you might find that you miss a woman's red flags and you end up getting hurt, or you're not compatible, or things don't go right, and that's completely normal. You can't expect things to go right all the time. All you can do is keep learning and keep being honest, and eventually the right one will come along. Dating this way means you will not be hooking up with your typical promiscuous women. But if you're serious about wanting a relationship, then this will not bother you at all, because it also filters out women who are not serious too. And though it may take a while, though it may not be easy, and though you may be very frustrated with your lack of progress, in the end, I promise you that being in a happy relationship with a woman who appreciates you for who you really are is 100 times more fulfilling than mindlessly sleeping around. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you found some value from it. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more.